So from that context, so building muscle, this is useless. Categorically, this is pretty nonsense. There's a reason why I'm not wearing a t-shirt. It's because I was actually going to wear the new tfnl clothing t-shirt to show you what it looks like, but it's wet because it's just got out of the wash. I'm going to show you right now anyway. On the front, we've got the big sick logo on the left boob, which we like, and on the back, that was nearly cool, but it wasn't. We've got this. You can't really see it. Well, I can't see you, but you can see me. Basically, that's what the t-shirts look like, and they're now currently on sale down below in the description. Very limited quantity, so have a gander if you fancy it. And yes, of course, the first t-shirt I was going to make was going to be reference to the fact that I have a small bottom, hence the pancake. Regardless, what we're doing today, GrowWithJo, a name I have not spoken about for quite some time, but also a name that's been doing the rounds recently. I've seen a few TikToks popping up with a lot of people talk about their opinion on her workouts, and it seems like a few more people are suggesting I have a look at her again, because again, it's probably been about a year since I last spoke about her. And that's why we're going to look at a 20-minute full body sweaty summer shred HIIT workout, which sounds to me like my worst nightmare. And as I always say, if throughout this entire video you actually just learned anything from the video, or just even just value something I've said or laugh at something I've said, then I'd very much appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to the channel, as it does mean a lot to me. But if you don't want to, just tell me how pale I look, because sometimes the truth hurts. See, the thing is, GrowWithJo has always been, in my eyes, known as like a dance workout creator. That's kind of, there's a dog. Hang on a second, didn't clock that when I did a watch through initially. If there's a dog in it, immediately, great video, go subscribe to her, big fan, no more needs to be said. She was always known in my eyes as a dance creator, someone who would basically create workouts or cardio-based videos that were heavily surrounding dance, hence why there's probably music playing in the background that I'm not going to risk playing just in case YouTube decide that for whatever reason they want to punch me in the nose when I'm sleeping. And there are a few conflicting opinions about that, and I'm going to present mine. And it's probably not going to be what you assume. I always say in the description of every video that my primary focus when looking at videos and things is from the context of hypertrophy. So from that context, so building muscle, this is useless. Categorically, this is pretty nonsense. We're not going to talk about that from the context of building muscle, because that's not what she's trying to achieve. GrowWithJo's primary audience, one can assume, is going to be people who are looking to burn calories and potentially lose a bit of weight due to maybe not being happy with their current activity levels, not being happy with their current fitness levels, not being happy with their current physique, weight, whatever it may be. In that case, I actually kind of back it. For a lot of people, exercise is categorically quite boring. It's not very enticing, it's not very appealing, and it's not very exciting. Personally, I love it, but I didn't used to. If you asked me to go for a run or do cardio in like a generic form outside, wherever it may be, I dread it. Honestly, I'd rather just sit looking like a mess, talking in front of a camera for some time. And a lot of people probably share a similar opinion, maybe not so much the camera bit, but the idea of not wanting to do cardio, and quite frankly, I don't blame them. But when you implement cardio, which for a lot of people isn't enjoyable, in a manner that is different and potentially quite fun and potentially even uplifting, suddenly you've encouraged people to move, burn some calories, and become more active without actually feeling like they're doing cardio, which to me is actually quite an impressive feat, because that's not easily done. And again, like I said previously, yeah, from the context of hypertrophy, are you going to build muscle doing this? If you've never done activity before, you may build some muscle in some capacity, but in the grand scheme of things, no, you're not. And people will say to me, oh, but Harry, I built loads of muscle doing this because I can see my shoulders now. Did you build muscle? Or did you actually just get a little bit leaner, therefore can see what was underneath? But what I would say is this, and this is something I want to kind of caveat here, this is not a dig at her whatsoever. Increasing your activity levels, fantastic, I love that, and it's going to get you somewhere, which we love to see. You probably need to consider something else in the future. Not saying now, but this will get you so far. Where do you go from there? So the human body is exceptionally efficient, like incredibly efficient. This workout will probably burn less calories than you might assume. Not because it's ineffective, just because of how efficient the human body actually is. We say this 20-minute workout, let's say it burns 250 calories. Just a random guess, let's say 250 calories. How easy is it to eat 250 calories? In my opinion, pretty bloody easy. I have a bloody chocky mousse and suddenly I'm 300 calories deep because it takes me about 14 seconds and a moment of contemplation as to what I'm doing with my life. Not because of the mousse, just because of where I am in the world. And if I can eat a chocky mousse in 14 seconds, but to burn those calories off from said chocky mousse would take me, let's say 20, 30 minutes. That then further highlights how efficient that human body is. So what I'm trying to get at with that is, sure, increasing your activity level, I love it, but when results start slowing and maybe the weight loss starts slowing down a bit, which it may do eventually, either increase your activity level, which you can only increase by so much because more isn't always better, or the flip around, look at your diet. And again, I'm not going to preach track all your calories, eat chicken and rice 6 times a day because that's just stupid. And for a lot of people, that's not going to be a healthy approach and could actually be quite triggering, which is not what I'm trying to achieve here. But what I'm saying is if you are in a position in your life where you are comfortable tracking calories and you think it's going to be healthy and sustainable for you, you can consider tracking calories so you know exactly how much is going in. And then you can reduce that number by, let's say, 10%, huge step in the right direction. Or you can even just monitor portion sizes. So if you Google like the hand method, portion control, an image will come up which basically uses your hand as a reference of how much you could consider eating of certain things. Do that for a while, see what happens to your body weight if that's something you want to pursue. And if nothing changes, eat a bit less. You've kind of nailed the moving more bit, which is fantastic. Then what you typically pair with moving more when losing weight is eating less. Fantastic. And if you want to, there's a third thing where you can consider it as a third option, like I said, lift some weight. So do some resistance training. Do you need to? Absolutely not. You can get away with moving more and eating less, fine, but I'm just saying lifting some weights could also help because it also goes back into the moving more as well. So although GrowWithJo is not my preferred creator just because we have very different goals, I can always respect the fact that she does something that a lot of people really struggle to do, which is make working out or make fitness in some capacity not feel like fitness. Through the enjoyment of dancing, through the enjoyment of being at home, through the enjoyment of just having fun and moving more, watching along with her and just having a laugh. And again, like I said earlier, you can probably assume a lot of people who are doing these workouts are probably people who are looking to maybe lose a bit of weight. Pair this with maybe just increasing your step count. So just if you do 8,000 steps a day, do 10,000 and literally eat a bit less, you'll be flying. And that can actually take you really quite far. No, you don't need to stress about eating chicken, broccoli and rice every day. You don't need to do that. It really is as simple actually is calories in versus calories out. Sure, eating kind of less processed, maybe more micronutrient dense foods is going to be a good time. You've also got to enjoy what you're eating, otherwise you're not going to stick to it. If you find things like this sustainable, then you've bloody won. Because one of the biggest kind of killers of gains, we'll say, or killers of progress and achieving of goals, is the fact that whatever people tend to do is rarely sustainable. And if it's not sustainable, they don't stick to it. And if they don't stick to it, they don't achieve what they wanted to achieve. If you look at this and say, I want to lose a bit of weight. This gets me moving more than going for a run would, which I don't blame you, and I can stick to this, then immediately you've found something that a lot of people have struggled to find, which is a sustainable form of activity. Like I said, pair that with a bit of additional movement through steps, portion control, and maybe if you want to, but you don't have to, going to the gym or just lifting some weights at home. There's plenty of home workout creators I've recommended in the past. You are bloody flying. Weight loss and fat loss is so overcomplicated by so many people because a lot of them are trying to sell you a bit of nonsense, which results in you coming back for more because they haven't actually taught you a sustainable approach, when in reality, it really is as simple as eat less, move more. Honestly, it doesn't need to be much more complicated than that. Sure, there are variables to consider, but not a lot. At the end of the day, whatever you choose to do, you have to do something you actually at least tolerate, hopefully even enjoy. It's all well and good someone saying to you, oh, this is the best way of losing fat. But if you can't stick to that best way, it's clearly not the best way for you. It's all about finding something that you can stick to, something that aligns with your goals, and something that doesn't make you feel anxious or feelings of dread when you're considering the thought of doing it. I'm not saying you should want to do this all the time, because sometimes we have to do the things we don't want to, knowing that the outcome will be worth it. But in the grand scheme of things, you shouldn't be dreading the workout that's going to be pending. And again, sustainability is key. Be that one of Caroline's workouts, be that one of GrowWithJo's dance workouts, or be that even Jeff Nippard's push-pull legs workout. At the end of the day, identify what you want to achieve and then find a sustainable way of getting you there. It doesn't need to be optimal, but it does need to be realistic, and it does need to be something you can remain consistent with. The roundup of this is that despite you probably not expecting this, I actually back it because again, she's doing something a lot of people struggle to do, and she's encouraging people to get moving and become more active, which will hopefully help them achieve their desired results, whilst also hopefully being happier in the process. So fair play to GrowWithJo. Although I wouldn't do it myself, I do respect it. But again, like with all my videos, this is simply my opinion, and I'd love to hear your opinion in the comment section below. So let me know, what is your favorite style of working out? Is it cardio? Is it weight training? Is it home workouts, dance workouts? Let me know in the comment section below. But until the next one, thank you for tolerating me. Thank you for tolerating the lack of t-shirt because it's wet. And thank you for tolerating the video.